Kingpin arrested for $12 million scamming. Alleged cybercrime kingpin James Aliyu was arrested in a luxury Santon estate on Wednesday in connection with almost 196 meters in alleged romance scamming and business email compromise fraud. The Nigerian national, who appeared in the Randburg Magistrates Court shortly after his arrest, is well known in SA social circles and on Instagram, thanks to his lavish holidays and excessive spending on luxury items for him and his girlfriend. His audacious social media posts where he flaunts his wealth have gained him 17,000 followers on his Instagram account t0le. His spending came to an end when Interpol agents arrested him at his house situated in a luxury Santon estate, bringing to an end 5 years of alleged scamming activity. According to law enforcement sources, after an almost 6-year-long investigation into the alleged scammer's activities, he was arrested thanks to a multi-agency investigation that included Interpol, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security Investigations, and the U.S. Secret Service. Sources claim Aliyu has allegedly been in contact with several major convicted and suspected fraudsters from around the world, and that he is considered a major player. Among the fleet of luxury vehicles he allegedly bought with the proceeds of fraud were a Porsche Cayenne, a Mercedes C220D, and a Mercedes-Benz G-Class luxury SUV. His social media profiles also depict him on luxury island resorts and luxury holidays in Dubai and the US. Aliyu is believed to be part of an international syndicate, some of whose members have already been convicted in the US. Aliyu came into the spotlight in August last year when Sun defrauding him in an elaborate luxury R1.2 meters vehicle scam. Aliyu believed a R720,000 Mercedes and a R500,000 Jaguar which he bought from Mashonga were stolen and hijacked by criminals he claimed had worked for Mashonga. According to the article, he claimed Mashonga, a Zimbabwean national, approached him and introduced himself as t0le from SA. Aliyu said Mashonga gave him copies of his SA driver's license, smart card ID and vehicle papers, which Sunday World has seen, for the change of ownership and registration of the cars to his name. Aliyu also told Sunday World the documents he was given for the vehicles were fake. But according to the article, Mashonga claimed he would not repay Aliyu because the money he received from Aliyu were the proceeds of crime. The Sunday World quoted him as saying that he was wanted by the FBI for scamming Americans millions of rand. In March 2020, the SA Reserve Bank confiscated $231,000 contained in Aliyu's Standard Bank account under Exchange Control Regulation 22E. Aliyu is expected to appear in the Randburg Magistrates Court on Tuesday, where proceedings for his extradition for trial in the US are expected to start.
The scammer got scammed. Hi everyone, welcome to Ghana Observer. Today I wanted to delve into this story that I came across. It took place about 2 years ago. How he acquired a fake South African ID, but then he had the chutzpah to be accusing the guy who scammed him about fake IDs and fake cars, sales of cars and stuff. So here's an article that I found about him. Santon fraud kingpin had biometric information deleted from prison. Folks, he was imprisoned when he carried this out. Nigerian fraud kingpin James Aliyu allegedly had biometric information linking him to a fake identity, t0le Velenkosini, deleted on the Home Affairs National Identification System, HANIS, from his prison cell. Let me read that again. Had the information linking him to this fake identity deleted on the Home Affairs National Identification System, also known as HANIS, from his prison cell. After a Times Live investigation, the Home Affairs Department placed an official on precautionary suspension for deleting information linking Aliyu to the fraudulent identity. A source provided evidence that Aliyu was soliciting help from corrupt government officials using a cell phone he had access to in prison. An identity fraud case for which he was arrested on August 21st, 2021, and which seemingly disappeared, came back to haunt him after the Hawks revived the case. So the case apparently just vanished into thin air. These public officials, corrupt public servants. His fake South African identity, which is that of a 25-year-old Zulu man, was used to obtain a passport. See how they go around impersonating others? Using it to do fraudulent things in other people's countries. Folks, you can't just make this thing up. And our corrupt, I have mentioned it already, the corrupt public servants who can be bribed, unpatriotic, will sell their own for pennies. And I'm doing this because it exists in Ghana too. And that's why they go into other people's countries and run amok, claiming to be helping develop your country. We are adding to your economy fraudulently. But our corrupt public servants have to be brought to book. They have to be held accountable. And that's one of the reasons why most Nigerians, when you listen to their conversation, they are always urging, whenever there's a conflict, why don't you let your authorities take care of it? Why don't you let your police and immigration take care of it? Because they know that some of them are corrupt and they can slip through the cracks. And we really have to start taking things seriously and holding these public servants accountable. When I saw that biometric information had been made to vanish from the Home Office database, I mean, what would a person have to give you to be able to control individuals from jail to the point of instructing people to make his fake ID vanish? It's unbelievable. And as I said, I'm equating it to this ECOWAS thing. That's going to be my next topic or next two topics. Because this biometric fingerprinting, taking your information, is a big part of implementing. And that's why ECOWAS is stalled at this point, thankfully. And we're going to make sure it stays that way. Because all this happening, it's not going to work. Until our public servants can be held accountable, maybe CCTV cameras all over the place, something has to be done. Because in the case of South Africa, I read it somewhere else that officers now have to use fingerprinting. Apparently before, you just put in a password. So whoever did it, yeah, it used to be a password, but now you kind of have to use a fingerprint or something along those lines, or eyes, or So unless you are verified that way, you cannot access information anymore. And that's how the one who made that information vanish was able to be tracked, because it seems like he was unaware that was already in place, according to the story. But thankfully, he was, as I read in the article, he was put on probation or suspended. I don't know what happened after that. There was no more information. But that's how he was tracked and found to be the culprit of making the information vanish. But as I always say, it's because our institutions, most of our African institutions, don't work. That's why it's going to be hard to unite. There are no structures or institutions that work enough to safeguard the integrity of sovereign countries. So it's going to be a hard sell. It's going to be a hard sell. So folks, I just found this interesting because it relates to how ECOWAS they're trying to shove it down our throats, trying to push, the leaders are trying to force it down. Meanwhile, they haven't made sure that things can actually work. Protections should be in place, So I just found the story. I could relate to it. But I'm going to end it here. Thanks so much for watching. Please continue to support my channel. I really appreciate all of you who keep returning. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And please remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.